I might be redesigning all of the covers for these books, so as collector's items, you may want to grab your copy now before the redesign. Years ago, I decided that my mission in life is I share what I know so that others may grow. When I first decided to become vegan many years ago, I realized in my journey that there was a lot of information that exists, but that a lot of people simply aren't privy to. There's a lot of information that has been written over the years that simply has fallen out of favor, and a lot of people simply aren't aware, especially if they are only getting their information from mainstream sources. A lot of that information is biased towards a financial agenda, so a lot of people aren't getting the truth about the food that they eat and their health and how they can maintain it. So I share what I've learned over the years from my own research as well as from my own experience experimenting on myself for all these years, and I do that through the books that I've written as well as books that I've reissued. So I'll share with you in this quick video all the books that you can get through the Ageless Adept series, and you can find that at agelessadept.com. You can find them on Amazon, you can find them on Google Play Books, you can find some of them on Smashwords and Barnes & Noble, bn.com. So to start, the first book that I wrote many years ago was called The Ageless Adept. And it was done in a story form. I wanted to make it hopefully a little bit more digestible to people. So I made it in a story form about an individual who encounters someone who's an adept, an ageless adept, someone who doesn't age. And over the course of a week, through that meeting, the adept shares with the seeker a lot of information about how to live a long life, perfect health, and the fountain of youth. So that was the first book, and it actually, you might see it different places with different covers because I've actually redesigned the cover several times. So this is, I think, was the original one, and then a later one, and then I actually retitled the book The Man Who Lived Forever. Same story, exactly the same, but a little bit different title to see which one might be more appealing to people. Next is Fit to Breed, the 10 causes of impotence they don't want you to know about, probably because there's no money in the simple cures that can help improve and maintain your virility. One of the things I discovered for myself was that in becoming vegan, in focusing on keeping my body clean, in focusing on detoxing, that my energy levels, and that's a euphemism, was maintained at levels that one might normally expect for someone who's been on the planet less years than I have. So I share that information because obviously that's a huge industry, and a lot of men are interested in how they can maintain their virility. So I've shared what I've learned about that in Fit to Breed. And the basic premise, I'll share the premise with you. The premise of this book is the reason that you're having difficulty is simply because nature has decided that you are unfit to breed. But essentially, your body has reached a state where nature has decided that nature doesn't want any more of you replicated around the planet. So once you get your body to a state where nature has decided that you are now fit to breed, you'll find things working a whole lot better. Another book is A Clean Cell Never Dies. And again, you can go on Amazon and you can look these up and read more of the description. But this one, simply how to conduct your own experiment in physical immortality. Now, of course, I am not promising anyone that they can live forever, but the premise is that if you keep the body clean, that you can extend your life. That's the hypothesis, and that's the experiment that I'm currently engaged in, and you'll have to do the experiment along with me to see the results. Next, the whole Ageless Adept philosophy and all the formulas are based on a simple concept. And I call it the SWEAT concepts. Sunlight, water, earth, air, and time is the basis of all real cure. For you to actually cure, really cure, not just alleviate the symptoms, but to really cure anything that ails you, you have to incorporate sunlight, water, earth, air, and time in some way, shape, or form. That's not always just direct sunlight. That's not always just drinking water. It's not always just earth. It goes a little bit deeper into that. But in order to help people understand the basic philosophy, the basic premise upon which all of the detox protocols, all of the food, the nutrification of the food that I advocate is all based on replicating natural sunlight, water, earth, air, and time in some way, shape, or form. Now, there's a lot of information that exists, and again, during my research, I came across authors like Bernard McFadden, Herbert Shelton, many others whose work was written many years ago, in some cases over 75, 80 years ago, and has simply fallen out of favor, but they're available in the public domain. And what I've done is reissued some of those, often with new titles, so that people can get access to that information. Because the one thing I've learned is that truth is timeless. And there are certain truths about health, certain truths about maintaining health, certain truths about food and how the body responds to a natural lifestyle that have not changed. We have not changed appreciably in the last 100 years or so. A lot of the information is that was written back then. A lot of it is, or most of it is actually still valid today. So what I've done in the expert series is released some of that information to a modern public. And the bestseller among my series in that regard is Fast and Grow Young. And I've also created a Reboot logbook for those people who are interested in doing fasts that can help you keep track of your fast. So that's Fast and Grow Young, along with the Reboot logbook and motivation. Next, the Sun Cure. When I found the work by Herbert Shelton, it was actually a very voluminous work that I had to break up into two sections. One was on fasting, and then the other was taking sun baths and light baths. So I put that in a separate booklet called The Sun Cure, which talks about the benefits of the healing power of the sun and doing air baths as well. A lot of people want to know what they should eat, how they should modify their diets after a fast. So this book, another book by Herbert Shelton, I've titled The Power of Positive Eating After the Fast. Now you might notice a little pattern here. For those of you familiar with motivational books, you might be familiar with the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And so the Fast and Grow Young is sort of an homage to that title, and The Power of Positive Eating After the Fast is an homage to The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. So this goes into a lot of the details of how you should think about your body and your diet after you've done an extended water fast, so that you don't simply revert to the ailments that have befallen you because of living an unnatural life. Next, the power of positive thinking for infants. The power of positive eating for infants. A lot of people are interested in raising their children as vegetarian or vegan or simply more natural lifestyle. So this book gives information about how you would want to go about doing that, raising your child to eat more naturally. Next, 1904 manuscript by Adolph Just, Return to Nature. And this one is essentially the entire premise of the Ageless Adept, is how to live a natural life in an unnatural world. A lot of valuable information here. Return to nature, how to live your life, set up your lifestyle, set up your home in ways that are more in alignment with a natural way of living. This one by Bernard McFadden is a book on exercises as well as diet and lifestyle for you to improve your vision. And these are actually the same book. I couldn't decide on which title to use. So one title is New Sight for Sore Eyes. Other title is I Can See Clearly Now, based on the Johnny Nash song. So it's the same book. If you want just for collector purposes, you can get both, but it's the same book. So if you see this under either title on Amazon, it's exactly the same book. Next, Coded to Heal. The whole premise of, or one of the underlying premises of the Ageless Adept philosophy is that the body is coded to heal. Nature is perfect, nature is foolproof, and the body is coded to heal. There are certain things that are built in to your DNA, certain things that are built into how the body functions, given the right resources. And a lot of that is included here. Again, timeless information that's decades old, but still valid and relevant today. And finally, sort of somewhat related, but for men, your sense of your health is going to affect your sense of masculinity. There are certain ways of being, certain ways of thinking, certain ways of interaction that are all connected to how you feel about yourself. So sort of as a tangential topic, I wrote this was a few years ago, before the new manosphere and MGTOW movement that's going on today. But it's just some ideas on different ways to perceive of yourself, different ways to perceive of relationships, different ways to perceive of the male-female interaction that are probably not being taught to young boys today. Well, you can check that one out. It's Masculinity 2.0, and I also include that in the Ageless Adept series. So anyway, wanted to keep this real quick. Those are the books that are available through the Ageless Adept series, and you can get those again on the Ageless Adept website, on Amazon. And please feel free to leave a comment below if you've read the books, and let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next video.